Okay, and let's start with our head and neck. So just roll your head gently to one side. And then nice and slow, bringing it back to center. And then turning to the opposite side. And nice and slow, bringing back to center again. And now taking a couple of nice deep breaths. I want you just to focus on your breath. So as you're inhaling, bring your awareness to where your breath is going and how much movement is happening in your torso as you take this breath. And same when you exhale. And then take another deep breath and same thing. Focusing, bringing your awareness to your torso and the movement that's happening in your body as you're taking these breaths. And then bring one of your hands or both of your hands up to the top of your chest and just place it on your chest. And with your next breath, try to bring your breath to right underneath of your hand. So filling the top of your chest. And exhale. And again. And then moving your hand down to your low ribs. And taking another breath here, and same thing, bringing your awareness to right underneath of your hands as you're breathing in, noticing how much movement is happening. And after a couple of breaths there, moving your hands to your low belly, and same thing, taking a couple of breaths.
Bringing your awareness and your breath to right underneath of your hands. And after a couple of breaths there, then you're going to move your hand under your back somewhere. Making sure to stay comfy, but go ahead and slip your fingers somewhere under your back. And on this next breath, try to bring your breath down into your low back or your mid back, wherever your hand is. And after a couple of breaths there, then you're going to bring your hands to the side of your rib cage. And if you have both hands on the sides of your ribs, then you're going to think of bringing your breath out to both sides. If you've only got one hand, then go ahead and think of just bringing it towards that one hand. Paper, stop it. Good, and after a couple of breaths there, let your arms lay beside you nice and relaxed again. And as you take this next breath, bring your awareness to your low back. Sorry if you guys can hear Piper just crying at me here. I don't know what she wants. I think she's still looking for the groundhog. And focus on your low back and how it feels. And your hips. And then all the way down your legs into your feet. And then when you're ready, you're going to bring your knees to bent position, feet standing flat on the floor. And we're going to start with our flatten and tilt. So first taking a nice inhale as you stay relaxed. Inhale first. And now as you exhale, flattening your back to the floor, bringing your pubic bone and ribs towards each other as you press your back gently to the floor, holding for just a moment. And now super slowly, begin to release in your abdominals, slowly letting your hips float back to neutral. And at the very end of that release, going right into tilt. So inhale, tilting your hips forward as you roll your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Hold for just a moment. And exhale as you super slowly begin to release the tilt in your hips. And at the end of that release, going into flatten again, pulling your pubic bone and ribs towards each other as your back flattens to the floor. Holding for just a moment. And super slowly releasing in your abdominals, really focusing on the control that you have to do this movement smoothly as you release in your abdominals. And at the very end of that release, going into tilt. And this time as you tilt, you're going to roll your arms open so that your palms are facing up to the ceiling. Rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. Palms are facing up. And exhale now as you slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly letting your arms roll back over to palms facing down. And at the end of that release, going into flatten again, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other. At the same time, rolling your arms inwards towards your body. So you're doing a little bit of a squeeze in your shoulders in front of you. Hold for just a moment. And super slowly release that contraction in your belly, releasing in your shoulders. And when you've finished releasing from this one, you're going to rest. Good, and now we're gonna go into some of our trunk and waist muscles. So we're gonna start by going into that letter X position. So legs are gonna go long along the floor and shoulder width apart, and your arms are gonna lay along the floor above your head and same about shoulder width apart. So your body is making the letter X shape. And we're going to start by reaching our right arm. So wiggle your fingers on your right hand. And then I want you just to think of lengthening that right arm gently along the floor. And now super slowly release that lengthen in the arm. And now wiggle the fingers on your left hand. And think of lengthening the left arm. Lengthening it along the floor, staying in your comfort zone. And now slowly release that lengthen in the left arm. And now you're going to go to the left leg and think of lengthening it. So think of pointing your toes down to the floor of the left leg and at the same time flexing your right foot. So now you should notice that your right hip is shorter on that side. Your right hip is lifting up towards your armpit a little bit as you're working to lengthen that left leg. Hold for just a moment. And now as you super slowly release, focus on both sides. Slowly releasing the contraction on the right and slowly releasing the lengthening on the left. So you slowly be switching your feet now too. So your right foot will slowly be going to pointing down to the floor as your left foot slowly comes up to a flexed position, meaning that your toe is coming up towards your head. And as you're doing that, now you'll be switching sides. So you'll be shortening now on the left side as you lengthen on the right side. And hold for just a moment. And then super slowly releasing that contraction on the left and slowly releasing the lengthening on the right. And when you finish that one, just take a moment to rest. And now we're going to add in arms and legs together. So this time you're going to be lengthening the right arm and at the same time lengthening the right leg. Right arm lengthening, right leg lengthening. So your short side will be on the left now. So your left foot should be flexed. The right foot is pointing down to the floor as you're lengthening the right side. Right leg is lengthened, right arm is lengthened. Hold for just a moment and then super slowly begin to release. Slowly, and as you're slowly releasing, you'll be switching to the other side. So you slowly begin to lengthen now on the left side, pointing that left toe down to the floor. Right foot is pointing, flexing up towards your face. Hold for just a moment and super slow and smooth, switching one more time. Slowly releasing the lengthen, releasing the contraction on the short side. As you slowly switch, lengthening now the right side as you shorten on the left. Holding for just a moment and then super slow and controlled, switching one more time. And when you finish that one on the opposite side, make sure to rest. And then nice and slow, you're going to roll onto your side. And you're going to bring your knees to the bent position in front of you. So your knees will be straight out from your hips and your feet will be straight down from your knees. So you're laying on your side. Yeah. Your bottom arm you can be using as a pillow, and then your top arm can just be resting in front of your body. The other option as we begin to lift, I'm just going to switch the view to me for a second. You can bring your hand here as we lift the upper body. You may want to support your head. It's totally up to you. You're going to get the same out of the movement no matter where your arm is. I think most of you have done this one before, so we're going to start by putting both pieces together, which will be rotating our top thigh forward, lifting the top leg, and lifting our head and chest. And I usually like to do it on an exhale, so let's do an inhale first as we stay relaxed. Now as you exhale, rolling your top thigh forward to the floor, your knees will stay together as your top foot just lifts slightly off of your bottom foot. Lift up towards the ceiling, maybe like a foot off of your other foot. And at the same time now lifting your head and chest and thinking of drawing your armpit and your hip towards each other. Hold for just a moment, and now as you super slowly lower your head and chest, you're slowly lowering your foot, and you should be feeling that in your side, in your obliques. So you did a small contraction in your side, and now you're super slowly releasing that contraction in your side. And when your foot is resting comfortably on your other foot, rest for a moment. And then take another inhale, and we'll start the next one on an exhale again. So inhale first. Exhale, rolling your top leg, lifting your foot slightly off of the other foot. At the same time, lifting your head and chest, thinking of drawing your armpit towards your hip and your hip towards your armpit. Hold for just a moment. And now super slowly lowering the foot and slowly lowering your head and chest. As slow and smooth as you can. Remember to stay in your comfort zone. It does not matter at all how high your foot lifts off of you. Courtney, bring your knees up in front of you more. So like you're sitting on a chair. So your knees and legs are at a 90-degree angle. There we go, that's perfect. Okay, one more time on this side. So inhale again first. Exhale now, rolling that top leg, lifting your top foot off of the bottom foot, at the same time lifting head and chest, bringing your armpit and hip towards each other on your top side. Hold for just a moment. Knees stay together. Slowly lowering your foot now. Slowly lowering your head and chest. As slow and smooth as you can. And when you've finished releasing, take a moment to rest. And then you're going to roll to your other side. So same position, knees straight out in front of your hips, feet straight down from your knees. Bottom arm underneath of your head, top arm somewhere comfortable. And we'll start with an inhale again first as we stay relaxed. And now as you exhale, rolling that top thigh forward, lifting your top foot off of your bottom foot, at the same time lifting your head and chest and drawing your armpit towards your hip. Hip and armpit squeezing gently towards each other. Hold for just a moment, and then super slow and smooth, lowering your foot back down, slowly lowering your head and chest. As slow and smooth as you can. And take a moment to rest again. And we'll start again with our inhale. Inhale. And exhale, rolling that top thigh forward, lifting that top foot slightly, lifting head and chest, drawing armpit and hip towards each other. Hold for just a moment, and then super slow and smooth, lowering your head and chest, slowly lowering your foot, slowly releasing that contraction in your side. And make sure to rest when you've finished. And we'll repeat one more time on that side. Inhale again first as you stay relaxed. Exhale as you roll your top thigh forward, lifting your top foot, lifting your head and chest, drawing armpit and hip towards each other. Hold for a moment. And now super slowly, really focusing and bringing your awareness to your side as you slowly, with control, release that contraction. Slowly letting your hip come back down, slowly letting your head come back down. And when you've finished and your foot is resting comfortably, take a moment to rest. And then slowly you're going to roll onto your back again. And your knees will be bent and your feet will be standing flat on the floor again. And now bringing your arms out to your sides, we're going to do wash rag next. So arms straight out beside you. And we'll be starting by rotating our head and our palm to the right and our knees to the left. So all together, starting with an inhale. And as you begin to inhale, slowly lowering your knees to the left as you slowly roll your right palm facing up to the ceiling and turning your head to the right. Your left palm will be down to the floor. Left palm down, right palm up, knees to the left. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, you're slowly going to switch that movement. So you'll slowly be bringing your knees up and over now to the right as you slowly roll your palm, right palm down. You slowly begin to roll the left palm up and your head is slowly rolling to the left now. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably to that side, slowly begin to reverse again. Nice and slow, bringing the knees up and over now to the left as you slowly roll the left palm down, the right palm is rolling up, and your head is slowly rolling to the right. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, nice and slow, switching again. Slowly bringing the knees up and over now to the right. As you slowly roll the right palm down, the left palm begins to roll up as your head is turning now to the left. And then slowly switching again. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably to that side, slowly bringing your knees back up to center. And taking just a moment to rest. And now you're going to cross your right leg over your left. And at the same time, you're going to be reaching your left arm along the floor, but up above your head. So left arm is lengthened above your head. Your right arm can just be resting comfortably beside you now. So I want you to wiggle the fingers on your left hand as you lengthen that arm. And now as you're lengthening gently that left arm, you're slowly going to let your knees drift to the right. So left arm is lengthening and knees are slowly drifting now to the right. Remember not to force any movement. Always stay in your comfort. Be gentle. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, slowly coming back up to center with your knees and slowly releasing the lengthen of that left arm. And pause for just a moment, and then we'll repeat that one again. So lengthening the left arm as you slowly begin to lower your knees to the right. And always also remember that this one does not have to be done with knees crossed. If this is uncomfortable for you in any way, you can do it with your feet both standing on the floor and lowering both knees. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, slowly begin to release the lengthen of the left arm as you slowly bring your knees back up to center. And when your knees are back to center, we're slowly going to switch to the other side. So you're going to uncross the right, cross now your left leg over the right, and then lengthening the right arm along the floor up above your head. And give those fingers on that right arm a little bit of a wiggle as you lengthen gently the right arm. Slowly with control now begin to lower the knees to the left. Nice and slow and smooth. When you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, and slowly bringing your knees back up as you slowly release the lengthen of the right arm. And when you're back to center, pausing for just a moment and repeating again, lengthening the right arm as you slowly lower the knees to the right. And when you've gone as far as you can go comfortably, pausing for just a moment and then nice and slow, bringing your knees back up to center as you slowly release the lengthen of the right arm. And when your knees are back to center and crossing your legs, and we're going to be going into our arch and curl next. So wherever your comfortable spot is for your arms, for some of you that will be hands behind your head, some may be fingertips behind ears, and if you have a lot of shoulder issues, you can do this movement with your arms still laying right beside you. So this time we're going to start with our inhale and arch. So if you do have your arms laying beside you, as you do your inhale and arch, you're going to roll those arms open to palms facing up. So inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. At the same time, press your shoulder blades down and think of drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilting your head back, holding for just a moment, and now exhale as you slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck, as slow and smooth as you can. And at the end of that release, going right into flatten, bringing pubic bone and ribs towards each other, bring your elbows together, and lift your head and chest gently into that soft curled position. Hold for just a moment, and now super slowly begin to lower your head back down to the floor as slow and smooth as you can, really paying attention to your abdominals as you're lowering your head. Once your head is resting comfortably, then slowly opening your elbows. And when your elbows are resting comfortably on the floor, taking a moment to rest, and then repeating again. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor. At the same time, either rolling your palms up, pressing the shoulder blades down if your hands are behind your head, and think of drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilting your head back, holding for just a moment, and exhale as you super slowly begin to release. Slowly releasing the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck. At the very end of that release, going right into flatten as you bring your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor, bring your elbows together, and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curl position, holding for just a moment, and then super slowly releasing in your tummy as you lower your head back down to the floor as slow and smooth as you can. And once your head is resting on the floor, slowly letting your elbows come back down. Pausing for just a moment, and we'll repeat that one more time. Inhale and arch, rolling your tailbone forward and down to the floor, pressing your shoulder blades down and think of drawing them towards your tailbone. Tilting your head back, holding for just a moment. And now exhale as you super slowly release the contraction in your back, slowly releasing in your neck and your shoulders, as slow and smooth as you can. And at the very end of that release, going into flatten as you bring your pubic bone and ribs towards each other, flattening your back to the floor, bring your elbows together, and gently lift your head and chest into that soft curled position. And hold for just a moment. And then nice and slow, lowering your head back down to the floor, slow and smooth. And when your head is resting comfortably, slowly letting your elbows open. And take a moment to rest. And then go ahead and lay your arms long beside your body. And we're going to do one more inhale, arch, and flatten, but with our arms long. So we're going to inhale and arch again, this time just rolling the arms so that your palms are facing up to the ceiling. Tailbone is rolled forward down to the floor. Holding for a moment. Exhale now as you slowly release the contraction in your back and shoulders. Slowly now rolling your arms to palms down. And as you go into flatten now, bringing your arms, rolling them in towards your body. So the back of your hands come towards your body now as you flatten your back. Holding for a moment. And now super slowly releasing. Slowly releasing in your abdominals, slowly releasing in your pecs as your shoulders come back down to the floor. And rest. And now going back into your body scan position that you were at the beginning of class. So if you had your legs long, laying your legs long again. And as we take these nice deep breaths, let's first bring our hand up to the top of our chest again. And taking a nice deep breath, really filling up the top of your chest, trying to bring that air right underneath of your hand. And exhale. And then moving your hand or hands to your low ribs. And taking that nice deep inhale again and trying to fill up your mid belly, lifting your belly into your hands. And exhale. And then moving your hands to your low belly. Deep breath again, really trying to fill up now your low belly, bringing your air to right underneath of your hands. And exhale. And then moving a hand or hands underneath of your back, wherever you had it placed at the beginning of class. Taking another breath and now trying to fill that air into your low back or wherever your hand is. Think of bringing that breath to that spot. And exhale. And then moving your hands to your sides, to your ribs, somewhere between your hips and your armpit. And on this next breath, trying to fill up your torso to both sides, really expanding out sideways as you take in this next breath. And exhale. And then go ahead and just lay your arms somewhere nice and relaxed. And I'd like you to continue taking a couple more breaths and really focus on the movement that is happening in your torso as you're doing these breaths. We're almost out of time, so I'm actually going to leave you guys to finish your body scan because I'm afraid it's going to cut me off. So you're going to finish with some nice deep breaths. Please remember to roll to your side to come up to sitting nice and slow when you've finished. But also remember to really just enjoy how awesome you feel before you come up to that sitting position. Tomorrow we'll be doing hips, legs, and of course a little bit of our core as well. Same time as usual. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you tomorrow. Please make sure to come up to sitting nice and slow when you're ready. Take your time.